Good morning, everybody. This is the first time we are doing this kind of exercise, which is an hybrid presentation. We have people in the room and we have people on the Zoom platform. That's why we had some technical issue, but I hope now things will go better. So 1 second for who is in the Zoom platform, because people are still entering the room. Yes, you have also post on the theater above, because you cannot, yes, that's the last post. If not, you can go above, but now I think it's okay. So hopefully everybody is here, virtually and physically. My role here is to present you the library, but the disciplinary library, what the UI library is doing to support your research, being you a researcher in his first year, or a fellow, or a new professor. There is one new professor this year in the history department. So this is the index of things I want to share with you this morning. Of course, the problem are linked to the question you may raise. In the Zoom platform, I don't see the chat. I don't know why, because we have tried, but I don't see the chat. But a colleague of mine will look at and eventually inform me of the, you have to go above. No, above, it's full here. And eventually I will have your question through a colleague following the chat. So now we have, of course, a very big problem, which is why we are distancing ourselves. It's the pandemic. And because of the pandemic, the library and the institute have reorganized itself a lot. And this has a very important impact on the library services. And it's above there. So let me present myself. I am Serge Noiret. I am an alumni of this place. I made my PhD a very long time ago. It was in 1979, 3 years after the foundation of the institute, that I did my thesis in what is your department now. So I have a certain memory of this institute after 41 years. These are my last years here at working at the Institute. And I have a field of expertise, of course, which is, and I prefer to tell it to you, because this is where also you can have specific scholarly contacts with me. Of course, information literacy, because we will have courses about management of information. You will see, I will tell you. I'm dealing with digital humanities, and especially with digital history and digital public history, because my specialty now it's about public history, so history outside academic settings. I am also specialized, my thesis was about the crisis of the liberal state in Italy after the First World War. And I also taught the history of electoral laws and system in Europe for 2 years at the University of Urbino in Italy. But I am Belgian, I'm still Belgian and not Italian, and I'm a Francophone, but my languages are Italian, English, and French. I read passively many other languages, but these are the 3 ones you can communicate with me by email or when we talk together. This is it. I have a blog which is Digital and Public History, where I publish in English and Italian. So, about the library. The library each year, of course, develop a lot its collection. In the last 5 years, we have a shift toward digital. And this shift was accelerated a lot because of the pandemic. we did a very, very important effort during the closure, the lockdown, between March and May. We really went virtual with online databases, with e-books and e-journals, what's possible, because the library was closed and nobody was able to enter the library. What is also important to know is that we were the first library, I think in Italy, that reopened it early in May for, with a timetable which was shorter than the usual aperture of the library, but we reopened it and we gave services to our community from mid-May, I think it was mid-May, until now it was always happened. We have many requests from professors in all the Italian universities surrounding this place to come, because it's of course open to external, but not now. Even the alumni, the people who did their PhD or made a postdoc at the institute living in Florence, they cannot come in this institution at the moment. This is of course important. So you see the figures. The figures are that we have a lot of e-journals. We are really a first-class worldwide library as far as journals in the SSH are concerned, social science and humanities. We now have more than 500,000 e-books. Especially during the lockdown, many publishers opened their collection freely, so we had access to everything. So our research had the possibility to download a lot of books that now are, of course, closed again, and we have to purchase if we want to go on. We have very few now print journals. From this year, we decided to abandon totally physical printed journals copy when we have the digital access. So it's a pity, you know, I'm old, so I like also seeing the issues of the printed journals, but when we have an equivalent online, we are dropping down all subscription to print journals. That's why now you see there are very few which are still there. We have also 500,000 more, 600,000 print books, and we still continue to buy print books, especially when they are not in English, because many other languages you can buy an e-book, but libraries can't. So it's often you will see, you will ask me to purchase books, but and you will tell me in Amazon you have it for €20, or I say yes, it's not available for libraries, and for libraries sometimes it's around 200 and €250. The same book you can access 15, 20 on an Amazon and with Kindle or other platforms. So we also have a lot of databases. I mean, databases of very different kind and typologies, bibliographical data, images, all documents, archive, many databases. And I will do an introduction to all these technologies we offer in another session beginning October. I guess I will tell you later on. So we also have a platform called Cadmus, which is the open access repository of the Institute. It's I will tell you about. And there you have all the teasers accessible, but not all the teasers are accessible in Cadmus online full text. Because this is up to you, once you will have discussed your teasers, to tell us whether you want to wait because you publish, or because you immediately open your teasers to the wider public, because Cadmus is for everybody, it's not only for the Institute. It's the #1 accessed repository in Italy. So it's an important instrument we offer you. So usage of resources, you see, we had 138 users entering the library per day. Maybe we can still have this, but only 90 people can stay now in the library. And it's a pity because we developed the number of sitting place with very beautiful table that you can decide whether you want to sit or you want to stay and look at the computer or work like that. And this was done around Easter, and we have much more sitting place, but we have to cut the number of place because of the pandemic. You have other figures that I won't illustrate these figures. What I tell you is that immediately after today, I will load this presentation with all the links. So for you to come back to the content if you want to go deeply into something. So we also provide a lot of services. This is something I will describe, of course. And I may say that, I quote, of course, the best things, but if you see, we made surveys and with our community, with our users, and you see that 82% of library users expressed that the library collection fits my research needs, and 89% of people tell this. Of course, history is different because it's so big, the area of research, the different topics you can deal with, that you may eventually discover that your own topic is not really served by the collection, but in this case, you have all the possibility to ask me to purchase books or to use the interlibrary loan when the service will start again, because as I said, we are open, but not the other libraries. So we cannot have books coming from other libraries because of this. We hope that during September, some of the German libraries with whom we are really doing exchange of books will reopen, and so we will reopen the interlibrary loan, which is essential for the work of historians. So this is the collection development. You see the print going down in the last 5 years and the electronic going up. It's from 2015 that systematically, so you ask me to purchase the book, so you have a form, you send me the information, I purchase. You don't have to say, I want an ebook, I want a print. If an ebook is available, I will buy an ebook, that's it. Sometimes for professors, their readings, we may buy also a print copy or more than one print copy if, of course, they ask it for seminar purposes or research purposes. So you see also these are the use of library web resources. The web resources are growing really in an exponential way. And this is 2019, it was before the COVID. Imagine what happened during the first half of 2020. So we have really a heavy use of our resources. This is our actual library homepage. It's very present. From this homepage, you can enter the catalog and everything, of course, you can access at the library. But what is also important to see, it's the specific information about the COVID. These are my colleagues. We are 20 librarians in the library and 6 trainees. The 6 trainees are people that work with us for 1 year, and then they're replaced, but they're coming from librarian schools, and they are very competent, and they are really fundamental for the library, because we are not really a lot of people. 20 is very few. Like me, for the history department, you have for the 4 information specialists, you have for economy, for political sciences, sociology, for law, and also for the European matters and the SDG. So, this is what a library survey says about the library. It's interesting because you have an idea of how other people like you consider the library. Has all the resources you need for your research. And this is true, if something is not there, we will get it for you. So if you need something, the philosophy of the library is that you have to get it. You have to have access to it. The access is us to decide which kind of access, if we will do an interlibrary loan, if we do a purchase, if we pay for accessing data, whatever kind of access you need, this will be provided to you. This is important to know. So the staff, you will see we are few, but the staff is really here to help you. We are serving our community. We are not administrative people. We are really trying to stay behind your needs and your research and support your needs. So you don't have any problem to come, to ask, and we will try to do, but not only me, all the people you will see and meet in the library, and some guided tours we will do. I do two today, but there will be others in the next day. I will present you, show you around, and see the colleagues. So this is a stimulating environment, but this is the past in a sense that it's a social community, and being in the library is also a very important place to meet other people, interdisciplinary, because you will see history and law are the Villa Salviati, but mainly all the first year researchers, second year researchers, they work in the library. They don't stay at Salviati, they come here. This is true for law and for history. So it's also a social place where you meet people, you meet at the restaurant, you meet in the library. And fortunately now we don't have our social rooms open, because we have a social room where you can rest, where you can have a drink, have a cup of coffee, meet and speak, because in the library, of course, silence is important. But these rooms are closed, and for the moment, because of the pandemic. This is, of course, another, by far the best book collection. I hope so. A brilliant library, highly qualified staff, okay. This is also something important. It's that you don't have to hesitate to ask us. Of course, historians can ask the archives, people working for on post-World War II issues. They will also eventually need to access the archive at the Villa Salviati, next to the history department. And so archivists will help you in all your real research to find original archive. So will do also my colleagues. This is, of course, a reason for asking us. Where you are, you really don't know, please come and ask us. So yes, also this is important, and you will see when we will go inside the library, that there is no history or humanities collection. Yes, there is one physically in the Vasco da Gama room. It starts there and it goes at the same floor, it goes out from the Vasco da Gama. The entrance, the actual entrance of the library is in the Vasco da Gama room, and there you have the history collection. But you will notice that many history books will be available in other collections, not only in the history collection, and this is very important. Organizing material I found, you will see we give courses on how to manage your information, not only bibliographical, but for instance, we are also sponsoring, especially for historians, some software that are free accessible to manage your pictures. So pictures in archive, pictures as primary source, because you have paintings or things like that. There is a software called Tropy, and the person who is creating Tropy, which you can download, by the way, The person is professor at the University of Luxembourg. He is coming, giving a talk about the software in the spring. Normally it's February. So, but these are the kind of things the library does to complete the support to your research. So important is also that this management of your data is done not at the last moment, where you have collected everything, you don't know how to deal with it, and it's too late because you will lose a lot of time to do this. So what is suggested by the former alumni that wrote this is that really you have to start earlier with this. So impact of the pandemic. This is a picture I took of this room last year in September. I was there, and Pep Thorne, which is our librarian, was introducing the library to everyone and see how the room was. So this gives you an idea of how things really change and will change until we have solved the issue. Also because of the impact of the pandemic, we registered many small video. We have a channel on YouTube, and you will see from the homepage, you can go and have video presentation of our services and collection. And also, and this is very important that you really look at this, the new library rules and service during the coronavirus emergency. This is, you see, there is a page where these rules are explained, and they are really important, especially when you come. It's not like in the past, you can just go on the shelf, take a book, consult it, and put it back. Apart that the fact that you never have to put back a book on the shelf by yourself, because we do it. I tell you when we do the guided visit why, but now it's absolutely not the case. You don't do this unless you have gloves eventually, but you don't do this, we do it for you. If you take a book, you leave it on a trolley, and we have to quarantine the book for 2 or 3 days. It depends. There are different scientific approach, 72 hours, 5 days, but we do 72 hours. So once you touch a book, we have to take it, put it in quarantine and back. This is one thing. The other thing is it's very important that if you come in the library, you will see on the entrance in the Vastorga da Gama, the person will ask you, where do you want to go? And then you will choose a table in the library, and you have to stick to this table the whole day. You can change the next day, but during that day, you have to stay there. If you wrongly went to a place where, for instance, you have no computer access and you wanted to have one, then you have to come back to say, we have to disinfect the place and give you another place. If something is available, I said there are 90 available places. So now the list here is not really a lot, but the expanded resource during the COVID was really, really important. Some publishers still continue to offer access to some of their collection, even after the end of June or July, when all the other publishers, as Taylor and Francis, Oxford, Cambridge, opened it, but then they closed again their collection. But we access, of course, what we pay for or what we subscribe for. So let's enter the loan and services, some technicalities that are important for you to know. So you have an account, and everybody has a card. And if you see, I take mine, you have a card to enter. And this card has the last 5 digits. And these last 5 digits is the password to enter your area. So what you have to do, once you click on my account, which is, I won't click, I go into the internet, but I fear some disruption of the stability of this hybrid presentation. So you have access to, when you are on the EY website to My Account. You click on it, and how do you enter? You enter with the full digits of your card, which start with 2000, and then the 5 last digits is the password. You can change it, but why? You will forget. Here, you always know that this is it. Once you enter your account, you can see all your loans, your interlibrary loans, when you have to renew, if you have fines to pay, and all these personal information. Also, it's very important because you have your reading list. So in 2 years from now, if you enter your account, you will know which book you have read, when you have read. So sometimes it's important to remember what was important for you to consult. So also, when you are not on campus, this will be the way you enter in your email, you enter in all our databases, in all our remote access databases that are only accessible if you correctly register to your account. And we understand that you are a member of this institution. So the different services that you access from the library homepage, it's borrowing books. So borrowing books, it's easy. You are the Salviati, you put a hold on the book. Putting a hold on the book, this is something maybe I should show you, but I fear to open it. Let's see. So, if we go in the library catalog, okay, this is the library catalog, and if you can see, yes, it's true, because I have to quit the. So now let me explain you how it works. You have the possibility when you go in the catalog, you find the book you need in the proper shelf. You have a possibility to place a hold on it. This is something that you can do to book, to reserve the book at the villa you want. So you may say, I want this book be available at the Salviati and not at the Badia. So we will, because we have a service of delivery of books that started again at the beginning of July. It was not possible during the lockdown, but now we organize it again. So you place this hold and the book will be taken by my colleagues in the library, put in a box, sent to the Salviati, where at the desk at the entrance of the Salviati, the book will be available for you. All these information, if a book is available, if something has been purchased for you, if you have a fine, if you have to renew, all these information are going to your email. So you will know immediately that the book is ready for you at the Salviati. This is for borrowing. You can have many books, I think it's 60 now. You can get 60, and you can renew by yourself the book. Again, entering my account, you can renew 12 times the same book. But if somebody else placed on hold on your book, this is important because we have only one exemplar, one individual books, no more copies of books. If these books, of course, are not ebooks. If they are ebooks, it depends the contract. Sometimes it's one user at a time, sometimes it's 3 users, sometimes unlimited user access. But if it's a physical book, everyone, you have it home, somebody places a hold, so you cannot renew. So you can go till the end of your loan period, but you have to bring it back. This will be requested. Of course, and this is something also I suggest, If you need urgently a book because it's on loan to some of your colleagues, but you really need to, you have a seminar to present, you have a book review to write, you have any real urgent reason, you can ask us in the library who has the book, which is a private information. And we will give you the name so you can write and ask, could you please bring the book at the institute? I make copies and I give it back to you immediately. This is a service, it's an informal service, but it will serve the cause, your own individual cause during the 4 years you will stay here, or the year 4 or 2 years for the fellows. So it's important that really everybody will be used to this kind of rule, which is useful for everybody. Fines. So it's very easy never to have fines because we really send you a lot of email before you will start to pay fines. So 1 week before the deadline of your book, you will say the book will be out of the deadline in 5 days, and then in 3 days, and then 2 days. And what you can do, you are not here, you send us an email, you phone, you say, could you renew the books because I have no access to my computer. If you are here, of course, you can do it. You can do it remotely. But if you forget to answer, to take action, then the first day after the deadline, the fines starts. But if you still renew it during the first week you are out of the deadline, you do it, you won't pay anything. But if you don't, then you will start paying €1 per book and per day. So if you have 60, it's €60 a day, and it's 5 times 60, so you will have to pay €300 immediately to the library. And this is something that happens. We have people paying fines around thousands of euros, but because they don't care about reading their email and looking at their area. So for us, it's very important because our collection should be available for everybody. And this is the only way we have seen to have people bringing back their book. Okay, this is about fines. Il already told you the interlibrary loan is very important, especially for books, because for historians, if a book has been written in 1932 about your topic, if you have historiography written in the 30s, it's as important as what could have been written recently. So we don't have books of the 30s, a part of the donation we get, but we are a recent library. We were created in 1976, so we don't have a lot of old books, and interlibrary loan provide access to this kind of material. So it's very important to have this support, and we hope really to be able to restart with ELL. So I told you about on-campus book delivery. If you want to have in another villa, Salviati or Badia, and you just, when you place your hold, say where you want the book be delivered. So photocopying and printing. This is something a bit technical, but you will see once you have to do it and you are in the library, just come at the desk and people will explain you the first time. You have to map when you print. You have to map all the printer in all the campus, and you can decide where you want to print. So if you are here, but you want to print in Salviati because you have a seminar in the afternoon, you can decide to do this. Scanning, of course, you can do from all the machines, and this go to the cloud and to your area. This is possible, and this is what we are doing. Sometimes now we are also scanning part of books and of journals if you are not on campus because of the COVID. So this is a specific service that you can ask for a few pages that you really need and you cannot access the document, the library is providing this. But this is very different of what is the normal access to photocopying and printing. So, how to search? The library has 3 ways to enter bibliographical contents. The basic ways is the OPAC. This is the homepage of the open access catalog of the library. And what do you have there? You have everything we have, all types of material, even series of data, even DVD, CD-ROM, whatever, all kind of materials, journals, books, of course, ebooks, printed books, everything is retrievable. What I suggest to you, because often you don't find materials that we have in the library. And this is an issue because then you take the time to fulfill a book request and ask us, Serge, please, can you buy this book? We don't. Then we have it, but you haven't found it. So how to really be sure? You go on the basic, on the catalog, and you look for the exact title. Be careful that if you, 1 letter, 2 letters wrong in an exact title, and you may not find the book. Of course, articles, the public history, the is avoided. Public history should be written correctly. And then you will get everything which starts with public history or has public history in the title. And this is all fields, and you put it here. Then you can look for authors too, eventually, as a second time. In the library catalog, you don't access single articles in journals, single chapters in books. You access only the bibliographical identification of a journal we have, and of a book, but not the content of issues or edited books, different chapters. This is accessible from the other 2 databases that we offer to you. This is the basic. You want to know whether we have a journal in print. If it's online, you will have full text access. You click on it and you go. And you may have more than 1 platform offering access to the content. You may have JSTOR and also the publisher for different range of years. And sometimes, some years of the journals, we don't have access to it. Then you have to use the interlibrary loan. And this is the way it goes. So this is the basic. Then we have other 2. You see, this is searching in all fields for authors. Before I go to the other 2 databases, we offer you to find content in different way. So you put a name, and then you see you have a list of books by the authors. If you click on a single book, then you will have all the information of the book. And at that point, you can place a hold on the book, knowing that this will be brought to you in here or in another villa. These are the details. So here you see if you have the possibility to have all the information, and where you see my arrow is giving you a number, which is a Dewey number. We use the decimal classification in the social science, not in law. We have a different classification, homemade classification called Steiner. But in the history, we use the Dewey, and we use 9. What is starting with 9 is in the history collection in the Vasco da Gama, or at the same floor of the Vasco da Gama. When you go out, it's all history. And it's a growing collection. When we do the tour, I explain you how it is organized and why we are using heavily 9, which is not used like that in other libraries. And so this is a topic, of course, but it's also the place physically where you will find the book. Because we may have more Dewey classifying the book, saying about the content of the book, but only one will be the place where physically the book is available on the shelf. Once you will have found a book or journal available online, you see, you have the possibility with EY links to access the full text of the copy. Just click on it. If you are on campus, you won't be stopped. If you are home, when you will click there, you will be asked to say who you are. So barcode and the 5 digits, okay? So here you won't see it. Of course, you go because we know the IP of all the computers, and even your computer is connected to our room. Second possibility, looking for chapters in books and articles in journals. This is called Article Plus, and it's an added service we provide. It's a discovery, and when you are, so Article Plus, you find access to it. You see, it's here. I don't know if you see my mouse on the, no, maybe not. But if you look behind the search bar, once you have searched something, you have another tabulation on the right of library catalog, which is Article Plus. If you click on Article Plus, then your research will be potentiated, because you will have much more answers, harvesting, articles in journals, chapters in books that may be found through this tool. Not everything, but many, yes. So you will amplify your search by looking at Article Plus. This is one. The second one is different. It's not available from the library catalog. It's only here something that you find in the library. You will see a link, find ebooks and e-journals. This is the possibility to go here on this page, which is Ebsco. Ebsco is an important multinational giving access to scholarly contents, and also organizing library catalogs and hardwares and things like that. And Ebsco Publication Finder will give you access not only to what we have, but to many things related to the kind of research you are doing and outside the library catalog. So you will harvest a lot of other areas that are not really, we may have access to it or not, but it's not what is only in the library, cataloged in the early library. And you have the possibility also there, you see behind, you have many different subject categories. You can choose one, which is history, and you can browse by discipline and say, I want only to go and see and discover what you have in history. You can also search by keywords in Publication Finder, look at when you enter the words, here I have entered public history, you immediately see everything you can access with public history in the title, or it would be a journal, an article in a journal, a book, or whatever we have access to through Publication Finder, which is more than what we have in the OPAC. So this is an even better extension of your search, and is also a possibility to collect a subject bibliography for your topic, going to Publication Finder. And you discover, for instance, journals and access to journals like this one. If you go to the UI Library OPAC, in Article Plus, where you will have the articles in these journals, and also in Ebsco Publication Finder. Subject bibliographies. So we have still, but it's extraordinary how the statistic of usage of these databases are going down. So I remember in the beginning of this century, so in 2000, 2005 until 2008, 2007, when the interactive web was not so present, that people were looking to bibliographical databases, and that was one of the first steps of their thesis, or not even a thesis, any kind of research in history started with collecting a bibliography. So these were absolutely essential. And I was giving courses on how to use single bibliographies and how to make the best of, because the differences of software and the way to reach the information inside these databases. Now we have statistics of usage and they are going down. Nobody or very few people are really using them. So we have restricted the number of bibliographical databases. You have the possibility from the home page. Of course, I said about Article Plus, but you have the bibliographical databases accessible from the home page of the library, and some of them are really important. Now we have a problem, a budget problem this year because of the Brexit. The Institute has to cut 20% of its budget, and also the library. So what we will cut are some bibliographical databases, some things. This may not happen this year because Great Britain normally should pay its quota to the Institute budget this year, but next year we may have to cut 20% of the budget. This is something, so some databases like that will be cut. But any research need to go there and use, for instance, historical abstract. You have to know what has been published before. Of course, these are databases with criteria of selection of the bibliographies inserted in the database. I mentioned historical abstract, but you have the equivalent. Historical abstract is history from the medieval times to nowadays, everywhere in the world, but North America. And then you have America, history and life, which is North America, Canada and the US. So two databases with different contents. And there really, you have a lot of things. You will discover a lot of things. But we pay a lot for this. And it's amazing how less now these things are. You don't have to accept that you find bibliography because your supervisor or friend tell you that this is existing, or you see notes in one of the books which are very important for you and you think it's enough. Or you go to Google or Google Scholar and you play with a bit and then you collect some bibliography. No, that's not enough for the level of a PhD. You really need to know your bibliography. You need to know the historiography before you will write something new. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but historiography is there. And so how to find historiography is going through bibliographies and bibliographical databases like this one. Okay, so this is my preaching about how you should work, but of course you do what you want and how best you think you have to do. So I said that we are cutting all the printed journals. But we have, of course, and we had in the library 5 years ago, a whole wall on the entrance of where now is the exit, is the entrance of the library. Entrance and exit, it was only one place. And there we had a full wall full of the printed journal, a selection of the best and most important international printed journal. They were there, available for you to consult the last issue. This is not anymore the case. We don't have this, but we have this online. We have this in a virtual journal display where you can see immediately the last issue we received of 90, 100 most important history journals from the Renaissance until now, all languages, all periods. So this is available in the library. A service I suggest you use to deal with journals is this one. It's Journal Talks in the UK. Journal Talks in the UK, you go to, you will have these slides, and so you can come back and have the link and go immediately there. I suggest you register, because you see there are 36,000 journals in the social science which are registered there, and they have more or less 3,000 of our journals that are indexed there too. But what's the service? The service is, you see, you register as a EUI member with EUI email, and you have the possibility to select one of the 36,000 journals, 1, 10, 20. So immediately, when a new issue of the journal will be published, you will receive in your email the table of content of the journal. So this is a very, very useful service. Also because there is always a moment between the moment when a new issue of journal is effectively accessible and published, and the moment this will be available even electronically in a library. There are weeks, sometimes months, between the two. So you can really look, and if it's really important for you, you can address it, you can ask us, why is it not yet accessible? We go to the publisher and so and so. But anyway, it's a way to know about what are the table of contents of journals. So e-resources, I already spoke a lot about the e-resources. You have it here, and in red, I have made a circle about on the page of the UI library e-resources, which means everything. E-resources are database with journals, all kinds of database, bibliographical one. You have access report problem. If you have any problem to access a specific issue of a journal, a specific database, a specific ebook, you click on this, you put the information, and we will get back to you quite immediately, because many colleagues are looking at this regularly, and and this happens, you know, in the virtual world. We always have issues with the electronic things. So we will answer, and we will contact you, and we will tell you what's happening, why you can't. So that's a very important possibility. It's also visible in the library catalog. There are some links, you can access this form if you have technical problem. You have AZ list of all databases at UI library by subject and types of resource. You see, this is a page, full page. You can decide that you want only history databases, or you want a specific kind of bibliographical one. This is where you start from. And if you know the name of, you go to the AZ alphabetical list that you see on the top of this page. You click on it, and you have them listed by alphabetical order. You click on, and through the library catalog you enter. I said through the library catalog. This is also important for you to know, because if you say, oh yeah, I know that the library has JSTOR, but I don't know how to connect into it, and you go to Google JSTOR, no, you won't access. You have to go through the library catalog to be recognized as a person belonging to this community, and then access. So many times, if you don't pass through the catalog, because you know we have historical abstract, you say, well, Google, historical abstract, oh yeah, we will have the link where the content is available on the web. But you won't access because you are not recognized as being a member of this community. So always through this or the library catalog. I have made, but this I have to update because I've seen that things are changed. But anyway, you have history database in the former general page of all database, but I have also made an alphabetical list of e-resource for historians. This one, I suggest that you take the time to see the 7, 8 different pages and see what we have. You may discover something that are important for you and that you don't know. So this is something I suggest you go through a little bit. We have also all the ebook collection by publisher. So of course, these are web pages organizing the contents, but all this is accessible directly from the library catalog. So if you already know the name of any of a publisher, you will access everything from the library catalog. But this is another way, of course, to access content virtually. News. This is important also for you to know, because we heavily invested, especially for political science and economy, financial issues, to news aggregators. And here you have, I think, some database that you may use. Aggregators mean international newspapers and magazines accessible, all contents. You have the PDF, readable, it's also here. So you can see, you can look, you can access. And these are the international platform. Yes, up, you have to go, it's, no, you have to go out and you have a stairs to go up. And then you have also archive of newspapers and magazines and individual newspapers access. So only a selection of an individual newspaper and the possibility to access it. So I suggest that if you need information, if you want to read your own national newspaper, there you will have access to it. So accessing e-resource, I already told you about. On campus, there is no problem. You access it through the library catalog. Off campus, you have the possibility to use your barcode and the 5-digit at the end of your barcode to do this. You have also the possibility to use, but I don't enter here because this is ICT service. It's, you know, I think for you, for all the time you will be here, you will be confronted with two services mainly. Of course, housing and things like that, but the library as a scholarly institution, cultural heritage institution that you can use for your research, and the ECT, the technology that are supporting all your research. And it's even more important now that we are needing all these connections. So the ECT is providing a VPN access. And I suggest that you download the client. And so you know VPN what it is, no? It's the possibility even for Russian and Chinese to be connected to Hong Kong, maybe not to Hong Kong now, but to other countries in order to not be recognized to the different websites they are visiting. So you are covered, you are anonymous through the VPN. It's also a possibility to connect remotely all our resources without doing using your barcode and the 5-digit. With the VPN, you will be at the institute even being outside. So I suggest you go there and you will have also presentation from the ECT. But it's very easy to download the client and to follow the information on their pages. So another service we offer, and now we are going to the end of this presentation, and of course you will at least the people in the room will be able to raise their hand, and if you need to have more information, I will try to answer. But here we have other services that I think are important. I mentioned Google and Google Scholar, which is a very important database of publication. You can be recognized in Google Scholar as being a person belonging to this community. Why is it important? It's important because when you will search by keyword in Google Scholars, if you have an article in a journal or a book that belongs to our collection, from Google Scholars, you will click on it and you will access immediately the full content. So this is a possibility to go immediately into our collection through what you have found in Google Scholar, when, of course, we have a subscription. We have done a very nice YouTube video. I have the link here. You will have the slides, so eventually you can go there. So, history guide. I have a specific guide for historians. Is the History and Civilization guide. You see where you have a selection that I change each 15 days of new books that were arrived online. It's changing, so it's only an image of the page, but if you go there, it's moving, so you have more suggestion. You have access to the virtual journal display, and here on the right column in blue, dark blue, you have all the specific pages belonging to this history guide. Services. At the moment, you haven't yet received an email from me about jobs and conferences. This is a service I'm doing, and many people going outside will ask me, is it possible to stay in the distribution list of jobs and conferences? I'm not anymore at the Institute. It's possible when you belong to the Alumni Association of the Institute, which everybody can be part of as soon as they go away. And what is it? Each week, mainly on Friday, I will send you between 30 and 60 emails once. It's a lot. And of course, there are possibilities to ask to Outlook to put all these, not in your inbox, but in other folder. You say, when I receive an email from Serge Noiret, it should go there. And when I have time, I look at it. If you do this, also my specific email will go in the folder because I am sending it, even if it's an alias. So it's about call for paper and call for application. So jobs everywhere in the world, especially in Europe where I have information, but also in the States at the moment I am not really informing about because it's difficult to go there, but anyway. So about jobs, every kind of, because you may have jobs also in museums or in archives I will inform about, not only academic jobs, but jobs that are dealing with the knowledge and the skills of historians. So every kind of, offered by many cultural institutions worldwide and in Europe. And also this is something that you can use by yourself. So if you know about grant for anything, postdoc, a conference that you want to promote and is open to people to intervene, send me the information. I will distribute it in the next distribution of this list. So don't be afraid. I think I will not have the time this week to start again. I stop it on the 6th of July. I think it will be next week I will restart again, but then it will be each week you will receive these emails. You have also two other not historical information guide. You have one about everything dealing with the European-oriented information. This is an important guide. We have a specific person in the library dealing with this. You may need to have contact with people in the EU institution for a grant, for everything. We help you to find your way in this very difficult, problematic information, which is the EU-produced information. So this is a guide that you may want to look at also for publication. And then, and this is really interdisciplinary, my colleague of the economic department, Thomas Burke, is maintaining a data service. So at the beginning, data were statistical data for financial and economic issues and other kind of sociological and political information. Today, data are much broader, and they are also produced by historians. You produce data. You can, during your thesis, produce specific data, which could be 1,000 photographs, or could be any kind of document you want to add to your thesis, or you create because of research. And this world is a very complex and complicated one because of copyrights of things, because of access of these data, public access, non-public access. Should the data be open? Some data are opened. How I get to find data from other institutions that could serve my research. All these things you find there. You have a list of data providers and also all the information about how you deal with copyrights if you want yourself to create data. In the introduction to a specific e-resource for historians I will do at the beginning of October, I will say about where you may eventually in Europe and through which institution access data. Free, accessible data, because now many libraries, university libraries, are offering these data, and these data are accessible through library catalogs and platforms that are in Germany and in France especially, connecting all libraries and all data together, so for you to enter these data. But this we will see together later on in another presentation. So yes, no, maybe there are two very short points still to discuss: open science and open access. So the Institute is engaged in developing open science. Open science is accessible research produced by all universities, accessible to the public as such, academic or not, but the production of the academic publication should be accessible. So this is the broad, and this is also a policy of the EU to have the research be accessible to the citizens of Europe. And it's open science and open access. There is a special publication, Open Science and Open Access page now accessible from our website, because we have also a specific staff. You have 3 people which are dealing with this, and will help you to go deeply into what open science and open access could mean for your individual research. We also have Cadmus, I already told you about. Cadmus is part of the open science, open access. We are, of course, asking you to promote what you publish. Cadmus, what is it? Cadmus is full text. If you offer the full text of what you publish to Cadmus, or bibliographical, if you only give the bibliographical items or what you publish to Cadmus. So Cadmus is the place where you know about all what our community have produced in the past and is still continuing to produce when being here at the Institute. So there what you can go by category, History and Civilization, see the last entry in Cadmus, so you can see what your fellow and peer researchers and fellows are publishing, if you can access it. You can look by name of authors and look what is available and what we have produced in the past, especially in the history department. It's interesting to know immediately there you should find everything your supervisor has published within his stay here at the Institute. So also it's very important, this is something that I take out of this main page of Open Science, Open Access, is this one, where you have 4 important information about being digital and communicating in the digital world. It's very important that each of you boost your online presence. This is something for years we have discussed, but if you are on Twitter, but not only passively, if you promote what you do, what you see, what you think, you will be more part of your own community. Twitter is better than Facebook for this. Instagram is for other things. So these are the social, but they are not only the social. Being and boosting my digital image is also looking at ORCID. ORCID is a service that will qualify you as an author with a number. And this number, and ORCID is also a platform where you can say about you, about your CV, about your curriculum, about what you have published until now, with abstract, with access to the full content. And Cadmus and ORCID are connected. So once you put the things in Cadmus, it's also immediately they will be connected to your profile in ORCID. So you have to create a profile to register and to have a number. But you will see that when you publish in an academic journal, your name online in the table of contents with your essay in the academic journal will have your ORCID number added. It's a kind of standard now used worldwide by academic communities, and it's always you. So there is no possibility to have a wrong name. You know that this is you and your person is. So my colleagues in the Open Science, Open Access office, which is at the ground floor near the garden in the library, will help you if you cannot register by yourself with the ORCID ID. But I think it's really important for you to do this. You have another page which are giving more information about what is ORCID ID, why, how you can register, why is it important, and you have it here. Finally, we are doing information literacy courses. These courses will start, I think my first course is about in the introduction to Zotero. These courses are already on the homepage of the library. You can go, you can watch. These are the 3 first or the 4 first course you can attend. You have to register. So we know many people, especially now that, for instance, I want to do mine also in a physical space where I see you and we can have interaction. Because if you say about a software, everybody has specific questions. So it's important that we have interaction. So these are the list of courses for the fall, and then we have a list of courses for the spring. There are 2 moments. It's all Wednesdays, 1:33. That we are doing. So it's, and now of course, I think it will be hybrid. So it will be on Zoom and in a room somewhere, always for me here at the Institute in the Badia. So the first course is Zotero. Zotero, it's an important software with which we have a specific agreement. I don't know, somebody of you knows what Zotero is? Yeah, how many? 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Okay, what is Zotero? Zotero is something, of course, I will describe in depth in 2 sessions, an introduction and an advanced session. It's the place where you can collect everything you find online, everything. Bibliographies, but full text content, full pages of the web. That could be very interesting because then you have the history of the web pages you can download physically in Zotero, index, metadata, you can metadate these things. You have everything organized in Zotero, in folder you decide and you create. What is the difference between Zotero in your home, in your past university, and Zotero here? We have a specific agreement that in Zotero, you have no limit of space. But you have to register with EY.eu because they have to know that you are belonging to here. What this means? It means that hundreds of PDF that you may have collected can be taken and inserted in your Zotero platform. And what does it mean? If they are OCR, they can be searchable inside Zotero. And of course, archived and available everywhere you are, because Zotero is like Dropbox. You have it everywhere you want. So this is very, very important. This is the big difference, is that you have no limitation of space. And the first question you will raise, you will ask me, and when I go out of the institute, I have created for 4 years an enormous amount. If you keep your EU email, it's there, and it will be there, even if you go away from this institution. Okay. This page is important because it's there that today, I will try today, yes, but I think it will be possible to load the slides I just presented you. It's inside the history guides. In the right column at the bottom, you have past courses. And there I load all the slides in PowerPoint and in PDF of all the presentation we have in the research skill courses. So you can reach and you can download information and further lectures or courses from this page. Zotero, I told you about. Then let's close this session with a word about our communication tool. We have a YouTube channel where you have many introduction to what we are doing, to services, to the ELL, to why you pay fines, and so and so. You can go there. We have a Twitter account. Now there are a lot of followers. Then you have a Facebook account. You see the difference. You know, scholars are more in Twitter than in Facebook. And then you have also an Instagram, which is a nice, if you are in Instagram, it's nice if you connect with it, because sometimes you have very nice pictures of this community and the campus. And then you have also a library blog, which is offering especially information about publication of data guides and things like that. So don't wait the last moment. I said it at the beginning. Ask the librarian if you have a need, a problem. You can asking today is physically. I have a physical office. I am alone in my office. So if I open the door, we can be distanced. We can keep a distance. It's on the first floor of the library, at the end of the main corridor, behind the wall. This is my office. You can come knock on my door. If I'm there and I can answer, I answer. If not, you can make an appointment with me when you want, or of course by email. Email is I think the half of my day is answering to emails of this community, and all the connection we have with the rest of the world is half of the day. So it's part of my job. You just send me an email, I'll answer you. So last thing, so when I will buy a book for you, you will have a form. You can do two things. You can send me by email all the details, especially the ISBN of the book. This is the most important information if you have it. The price also, but prices are very different what you find and what I will have to pay. So the ISBN is important. We have a book purchase form. You can use it. Then you have all the field, you have fulfilled. Then you send it. This will come in my mailbox. You don't know because you won't have an answer, but I normally answer you the same day you have asked for books, telling whether I buy it, whether there is an issue, whether I need more information, whether I prefer to buy an ebook. You will have an answer the same day, or maybe the next day because I may have, but normally immediately answer to you. If you don't receive an answer to a book you have request after 4 days, 5 days, I haven't received your request of purchase. So it's important, and then you say, but did you receive mine? Much easier is if you don't use our book purchase form, but a normal email to me with all, because the book purchase form is only one book at a time, and then you have to fulfill another and another and another. An email, you can put 10 books in the place. Doesn't mean that I will buy immediately 10 books, but you can give the information of 10 books in one email. It's easier for you, it's easier for me. So this is how it works. Normally, 5% of the collection is created by your input. 95% is what I'm purchasing. And we are purchasing in all languages because we are culturally very much different of the political science and economic department. So don't hesitate to ask me book in Greek or in any other languages if these are important for your research. The language of the historiography you will ask me to purchase has no importance. What is important if it is available and I can reach it, if it's still in print, or if you have the need to do an interlibrary loan. So this is important. Also, normally we are buying in the original language, the book. English translation, now of course they are both much more, but normally they are both because I'm asked to buy translation in English because it's needed for seminar purposes. So this is also the way. But you have to understand that we are different, maybe a bit the same with the lawyers, because also they need literature in other languages. And we are multicultural in a way in the history department, and this is still remaining a bit. Thank you for your attention. So who is in the room? The floor is open to you if you have questions. There is no problem. We'll see whether eventually in the chat I can see something. Any question? Yeah, you can press the button of the micro, and then because it is the only way for people outside the room to hear you.
Okay, so I was wondering, maybe I just didn't hear it, but if you want to sit in a library and work there, do you have to book a place, or can you just, is it like first come, first serve?
So this is a good question, of course. Yeah, no, when you enter in the Vasco da Gama, so the entrance of the library, you have the first time in the day, you have the plan of the 4 floors of the library and numbers. So you look where you want to, because you have friends, because you prefer this area, because you want to be isolated or more close to other people. So you understand where you want to go. There are numbers on the tables and on the map. You tell it to my colleagues or to me, because once a week, starting October, we'll be there too. You tell which table you want, and then you have, during the day, stay to that table and don't change the number. So you will know. Then you go out because you want to take a cup of coffee. You go out because you go to a restaurant, and then you go in. But this table, during the day, will only be for you, even if you are not there physically because you're outside for any reason. Okay. Yeah.
But do you book it the same day, or can you book it the day before?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So do you book this table the same day you're going to use it, or can you book it the day before?
No, no, no. When you enter.
Ah, okay, good.
Only when you enter. When you come into the library, we give you a table. That's it. There's no way to book it online or no, it's a physical thing. You enter, you say to the person there which place you want to stay. That's it. Maybe the first time you say, but there is a plug for my own computer because I want to plug it in and not using the Wi-Fi, or I want a library computer. So we can help you to tell you where you have, of course, these services and which place correspond to which service. Okay. Another question? No? Let me see the chat. Oh no. Ah no, that was the start. Your microphone is on mute. There is no question from the virtual room, but also the virtual room you can enter with the voice. You don't have to chat eventually if you want to. Nobody. Okay. So thank you. Welcome to this place. It's an extraordinary place. Of course, I can tell you, I'm here 41 years. And it's a place where you will, if you stay 3 months, 6 months, 4 years, you will really, and I hope, of course, the pandemic will be down soon, you will really have not only the possibility to do good academic research, but it's a real community where you will find friends and for your life in all countries and in transdisciplinary way and in transnational way. You will meet a lot of people. It's really a place, so a real interesting place. So welcome again. Bye.